Thank you all for coming to the Pub West Booklore regarding the Tools of Change conference that Victoria and Tom and I attended in February. Where we're going to start tonight is Victoria Blake, the publisher of Underland Press, is going to start talking about standards. Tom McCluskey, student at Wooligan Press, is going to talk about XML and digital right management, and then I will be talking about community. So please give a warm welcome to Victoria.
Thanks, guys. So I wasn't expecting this to be quite as official as this, and I wasn't expecting it to go on YouTube. Hi, YouTubers. So from the Tools of Change, from my experience at Tools of Change, the first day I actually wasn't very impressed. What I felt like I was hearing a lot of was that the internet is there, blogs exist, and we should be on Twitter. And I didn't quite understand then why this is so important. It was only during the 3 days that I got a sense of what people are actually talking about. Jeff Jarvis gave a keynote. He's the author of What Would Google Do? And he gave a keynote about this kind of intellectual approach to the internet and the time that we are in right now. And his formulation was that the technology that we have hasn't caught up with our desires, and that the technology that will be is not here now. So our desires are bigger than our potential. Between now and then is a period of destruction. And the hope is that it's going to be creative destruction and that something is going to rise out of it. But a lot of the insecurities that we're feeling about what's happening in publishing and what we're all going to do, that's part of the destruction process. So through the 3 days, I changed my paradigm from sort of I need to figure everything out and be like on top of the internet to I don't know what's going to happen and I need to be nimble. So that's my stance. So I'm going to talk about standards, not in any official way, but just again as a paradigm and as an approach. There was a very interesting panel talking about how nobody actually knows what's going on, and this was part of my paradigm shift, as I realized that nobody actually knows what's going on, and that the publishing community isn't really in charge of it. Amazon's in charge of it. The guys that are making the software they're in charge of it. The people that are programming the iPhones, they're in charge of it. We can direct it, maybe. I know Underland can't, because I'm small. Random House might be able to. There's people with power that might be able to. So the publishers and the people in the publishing industry are sort of in a position of catching up once whatever arrives, and also in a way sort of guessing what's going to happen. So we get into the whole issue of standards because we get into the issue of file sharing and information sharing. This is less of an issue for fiction than it is for nonfiction because fiction can be more easily unbundled or unpacked, right? So the information could be taken into its individual components a lot more easily than nonfiction, where you need a lot more tags, organization, structures. But those structures haven't actually been set in stone yet. So when we're trying to talk to each other, we're still developing that language. I think there was some general impetus toward organizing a body of people that would start talking about standards. But that's not there yet. It's probably going to come, right? But it's not there yet. And this is important now because as publishers and as people that are trying to share information with each other, we're running up against this language problem. So Ken, right? You started Buzzaroonie. And I'm curious, and maybe this is a topic for when we actually open it up, but if I'm a publisher and I want to send you information, I'm curious about whether or not you would manually upload that information on the back end, or whether or not there was a standard XML style sheet that I could use as a publisher and just send it to you. And if there is a standard style sheet, are you going to publish that in some public place so that as a publisher, I can actually use that when I create my documents? So, something to think about. It's also something for like booktour.com to think about, or Shelfari to think about. Standard style sheet so that publishers can create standard information and actually get the information out there.